What's up, everybody, and welcome to ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news. I'm Drew Bosley, that's Scott Savage, and you can join us at InsideTheGame.ca, YouTube at Inside the Game Official, and of course those podcast services thanks to our friends at Fired Up Network, and all those beautiful TV streaming networks around the globe. I'm talking about Amazon Prime, Roku, Samsung Plus, Jinx, Esports TV Canada, and a whole lot more. Scott, we talk about a lot on today's show. What do we have?
That's right, we do. We have Metroid Prime 2 Remaster, hopefully in the future, Amazon's new King Kong game, Activision Esports have been hit with layoffs, The Walking Dead Betrayal, that's something to be interested about, and Overwatch 2 heads to Steam. Firewall Ultra has a release date.
Nice. There's a lot happening on today's show, so let's dive in. Scott, we got a hot one for Nintendo fans. Jeff Grubb, that's right, one of the best insider leakers around, says Metroid Prime 2 Remastered is coming relatively soonish, and something Zelda series related this year as well. This was over at My Nintendo News. Journalist and insider Jeff Grubb has said in a new video that Metroid Prime 2 Remastered will be arriving relatively soonish, which is fantastic news to hear, as Metroid Prime Remastered was excellent. Scott, you can vouch for that.
Oh, that is certain. Yeah, I think that was almost a 9 for me. Just about as good as I remember it.
Fantastic. He also said that something The Legend of Zelda related is also happening later this year, though he says it is not related to the critically acclaimed The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. But what this announcement will be is anyone's guess, but it won't be downloadable content for Tears of the Kingdom, which is to be a bit of a surprise, Scott. I kind of thought we'd see more for it, or you think people are just still too involved in that game to get something just yet?
I think there's still hours and hours, hundreds of hours to extract from that game for the majority of people. So I don't think you're going to come to the end of it very soon. But I'm also trying to think back, and I'm not sure there's ever been Zelda DLC. In the case of Breath of the Wild, there was amiibos you could add, and that would trigger certain events, but it was not exactly DLC.
Yeah, there's a little bits of this, that, and the other, but there wasn't. Here's the Kingdom. I feel like they could build upon and give us something, but if you wanted to get, like, are we getting something else related then when it comes to a Zelda remaster, Scott?
There's not too many things left to remaster on the Switch, that is. Ocarina of Time does come to mind, though.
Well, there's one, right? Yeah, absolutely. I don't know, we've had a couple remasters. Some have worked, some have not worked so much for me. I've tried, man. I tried. Just didn't really
Skyward
click.
Sword didn't really hit you.
Not at all. I tried, dude. I really tried. I just couldn't get into it whatsoever, unfortunately. But I'm still plugging away at Tears of the Kingdom because, like you said, right, there's so much content in there. I'm still working away on that one, so maybe that's one of the reasons why we're not getting DLC just yet. But when it comes to Metroid Prime 2 Remastered, probably is coming out relatively soonish. That is happening. That probably is happening relatively soonish. This next phrase, I'm afraid to say, so I might not actually say it. Listen, I don't know what it means. I'm going to tell you what they told me, and if you take this and you spin it into something else, everybody, it's on you. There's Jeff Grubb. Well, I was just saying. So here it is, right?
Direct quote. You can tell the guy, he's bustling to let it out.
Well, yeah, he's there, but he's like, if this doesn't happen, don't blame me, right? Like, he's just saying what he's been told, so I get it. Jeff's kind of covering himself, which is cool. But are you really that surprised if we get a remastered 2 with Metroid Prime 2?
Slightly, but also slightly not, because I'm not sure if I remember Metroid Prime 2 just breaking records, selling crazy well back in the day. The third one perhaps sold better, so I'd expect that maybe. But if you're doing all of them remastered, it makes sense to go chronologically. And this game was excellent, but I did not finish number 2, so I'm super into this one if it launches.
Well, if it launches, here's your chance to get it, right? So we'll see what happens, dude. But it's just, for me, I'm not a Metroid person at all. I'm barely a Zelda person. But here we are, Breath of the Wild, I really enjoyed, and Tears of the Kingdom, I'm still playing. So it's one of those, the new formula for Zelda has hooked me, and that's kind of what's keeping me forward. But maybe it's time that I check out Metroid Prime. There's that one. We got 4 is coming too. So are they building the remastered library before 4 launches? Or are we going to get 4 amongst the midst of all these remasters?
I am very positive, very hopeful that 4 is coming, and this is indication of that. But it is Nintendo, however. It might be another decade away.
Well, is 4 coming on the next Switch? It has to be, right?
That's what I'm hoping for. But if development has already started, does that indicate Switch 2 coming soon? It's, again, a lot of moving pieces with Nintendo.
Yeah, absolutely. You're just never quite sure with Nintendo. Scott, the leaks just keep coming. A new King Kong game has been leaked by Amazon. This is Tom Ivan over at VGC. Amazon has seemingly leaked a new King Kong game ahead of its official announcement. Titled Skull Island Rise of Kong, the third-person action-adventure game is headed to Nintendo Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S. According to the product listing on Amazon's Spanish website, the listing was spotted by Gamitsu, also carrying presumably a placeholder release date of December 31st, 2024, which is just saying it's coming out sometime next year. But what we're doing is we're conquering waves of primal beasts and defeat your archenemy minions to become the rightful king of Skull Island. Scott, it's been a while since we saw King Kong really have his own spotlight for a game, all the way back to 2005. He did make his way into Warzone with his own event, but besides that being in Call of Duty, dude, it's been a while since we saw the King Kong, the Peter Jackson King Kong game, all the way back in 2005.
It's been so long, but Conquer Waves of Primal Beasts, that gives me flashbacks to the other night when we were playing Exo Primal.
Yeah, it sure does.
Understandably, we're not going to have guns being King Kong, so it's going to be different than that. But it does seem to also be a lot different than the King Kong that we know from 2005.
Yeah, I'm definitely curious to see what storyline we're going to be following here. And if you take a look at the art style, the leaked images, now they are rough, but someone's just basically taken like a picture with their phone and then posted it. So it's been a weird whatever, but it's got a unique art style, which seems a little bit more cartoony than the 2005 release, Scott. That's the other worrisome issue for me.
2005 was out on GameCube where I played that, so that's an interesting indication of where the game's at.
Yeah, but they've gone for this more, it looks like a lighthearted approach when it comes to King Kong, so I wonder what audience they're kind of really gearing towards. But when you're a King Kong fan and then you get into like Warzone and their own event over there with that one, you kind of question what's going on here in this unique art style. I've seen some fans react already going, I don't know if I want this one. Like, this doesn't really look to be my style. But time will tell. It's been a leak, right? No official announcement on the trailer, or no trailer at all. It's just leaked images. So when we do get hands-on, we will give you that impression of the trailer and take a look and see if it's really going to pull us in. Scott, are you worried at all?
Well, I'm thinking maybe the images that we've seen, which I'm not actually familiar with, I don't know if that's maybe because of the Nintendo Switch to kind of have a more agreeable style behind it. It was something more possible to run on the Switch. But that said, we might get a different example on the new consoles, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series. There may be HD updates, that sort of thing. That remains to be seen. Absolutely.
It was just a leak, so there's a lot more to find out yet, but fingers crossed, time will tell. Scott, we talked about Overwatch quite some time now on this over the last, I feel like 2-3 weeks. Obviously, with a lot what's going on with the Activision Blizzard, Microsoft deal, acquisition, FTC, CMA, all that kind of stuff. But we got a different take on it today as Activision Blizzard Esports hit with layoffs as Overwatch League's future remains undecided. This is Wesley LeBlanc over at Game Informer. Activision Blizzard has laid off around 50 employees, according to a new report from The Verge. This news arrives the same day Activision Blizzard released its fiscal year 2023 Q2 results, which highlights a murky future for the company's esports efforts despite the otherwise financially successful quarter for the Overwatch 2 maker. Activision Blizzard's results show that the net bookings grew 50% year over year in the second quarter from $1.64 billion to $2.46 billion due to the lucrative Diablo 4 launch. I'm pretty sure that was a big help. Yeah, increase in revenue from various franchises, mobile growth, and more. But despite that growth, the company laid off around 50 employees due to Blizzard's esports department, The Verge reports. One person laid off told the publication that this round of layoffs, quotes, seems like a significant gutting of Activision Blizzard Esports, end quote. While another told it, quote, there was no warning. This was a complete shock to everyone, and none of us who were laid off were offered an opportunity to switch roles or teams. End quote. Scott.
Ouch.
This isn't cool. This came out of nowhere for what seems to be the 50 people, which is not cool, right? We hope everybody's gonna be able to land back on their feet and take care and get something out of this and turn things around. But at the same time, dude, we've been talking about Overwatch seen a bit of a decline as of recently as well, right? The player base isn't really doing all that well. A lot of questions, a lot of murky waters when it comes to Overwatch 2 as a sequel coming from Overwatch 1, which seemed to be such a success. And then when we get into 2, we only get what felt like is really 1.5.
Yeah, and the whole thing was justified over that offline PvE campaign that just really didn't come to fruition as it was supposed to.
No, absolutely, right? We were promised this story mode and all this stuff, and then they went back and, well, we're going to give you the story, but we're going to make it more events, and then we're going to do this, that, and the other. And then just the whole model changed as it started to hit release, which kind of reminded me of Halo Infinite as well, right? And we saw the struggles with Halo, which continue to this day. And I feel like Overwatch is kind of just following the same path.
It's rocky.
Which is unfortunate, right? But as previously disclosed, our collaborative agreements for our professional esports leagues continue to face headwinds. During the second quarter, we amend certain terms of our collaborative arrangements with teams entities participating in the Overwatch League. According to the amend terms, following the conclusion of the current Overwatch League season, the teams will vote on an updated operating agreement. If the teams do not vote to continue under an updated operating agreement, the termination fee of $6 million, dude, that's will be payable to each participating team entry. Total fee of approximately $114 million. As of June 30th, 2023, the termination liability has been accrued. Total revenues from the Overwatch League comprises less than 1% of the consolidation net revenues. Scott, I think this could be the demise of the Overwatch Esports League.
Yeah, it kind of seems like that really could be the situation here. From what I kind of gather from this, there's been a change in the contract, and if you don't accept, well, they will terminate the contract, but they have to pay you out to do that. So it's a huge amount of money. $6 million to each team. That's no small amount.
Not at all. It's a bit of a shock too, right? Like
there's more than just the 5 players that play the game as the team too. There's a lot more people, and it's not quite the same as giving one person $1 million each.
No, it's not how that works. That's for sure.
No,
but it just I'm shocked to see the decline of Overwatch hit so hard and so quickly out of nowhere. But yet again, right, we talked about Overwatch 2. They have new events coming. They have more story stuff coming, more content. Another season is on the way. So is that enough to get the players going? But it's not enough for the league in itself, right? It's the esports league that is now starting to suffer. And I'm just kind of disappointed to see it go away. I was never really invested in it though on my side. I do know a lot of people who were invested and loved watching it. Man, if you watch the pros play, there's a lot going on. It is chaotic to watch. And I think it was a bit of a hard learning curve for some people to get in there that want to get in, but haven't really been able to follow along. It's one thing to play it and you're just goofing around with your friends, but it's another thing to watch the pros. Dude, they're flicking their mouses all, like, it's so fast.
They move like conductors.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see what happens here. Activision Blizzard do have opportunities to kind of turn things around, but sometimes it just doesn't seem to be the way. Scott, we received a cool press release just yesterday on The Walking Dead Betrayal, a Project Winter game. You may have heard of this team, the Other Ocean Interactive, because they brought us Project Winter, which was a very cool game. It was over on Steam for a while, then brought over to the world of consoles, which is nice to see as well. But here we have some more. Betray your friends in this 5 to 8 person game of cooperation and social deception, set in the universe of The Walking Dead. Dude, I'm a huge fan. I love The Walking Dead games. I've played a ton of them, and to have this little spin-off with the touch of a Project Winter game, like the Project Winter, I thought had a cool art style, and it has that and carries it over here to The Walking Dead Betrayal. And I was like, yo, what is this? But you can work together to survive, but trust no one. Traders have so many ways to sabotage the team. The walkers are the most predictable threat. The game will be $19.99. This is going to be US. It'll be currently going for PC. Dude, we have more news. Because you can craft weapons and cook food to manage your hunger, of course. Betrayal and Deception is the name of the game, as traders will have plenty of options and opportunities to betray their friends, poison food, or items. You can even wear a walker skin to blend in. Dude, I thought that was cool. Yeah. Lure a horde of walkers with a skateboard, set traps, and just straight up murder your friends. That's I'm like, dude, I'm so in on this. Yeah. But here's the cool part. When you die, the game's not over. Because you can get in as a walker, and then you can lure in hordes of walkers as one of them, and then swap between them, and then go for the person that took you out. I'm like, that is cool. So I'm very excited. You can wishlist this right now on Steam. It's going to have a beta access coming out on August 10th, and it's coming to Steam Early Access this year. So I thought it was very cool. Wanted to be something we want to touch on here, but we also have a quote, Scott, because we're not done yet. Quote, "We're tremendously excited to unveil the latest The Walking Dead experience that fully immerses players with a fresh and unique take on social deception gameplay," end quote. Said none other than Robert Kirkman himself, the chief creative director of Skybound Entertainment and the creator of The Walking Dead. Quote, "Partnering with the other Ocean Interactive, true innovators in this game genre, will allow players to experience hordes of deceit and distrust as they struggle to work together to survive and escape," end quote. Dude, I'm down. That's why I said it has that Project Winter art style, which I thought was super cool. It's a third-person perspective game, and then we're getting in here. We've seen this social deceit play style for quite some time now. Some have stuck around, some have not. And it seems like Project Winter has been able to kind of keep things around. But I think now going with The Walking Dead and I think having that name in there as well probably might help a little bit, right? Because that just kind of goes a little bit step further. What do you think?
Oh, I think that's a great selling point of it. And looking at the game, the kind of top-down, almost top-down camera, it kind of reminds me of Dismantle. And that's a very, very good association there. Dismantle, but with a little bit of social deception. This could be a real match.
Dude, absolutely. The team, like, we need to get in on this. I can hang out here for hours and play this. I think this will be a ton of fun. Let us know your thoughts over on Twitter at the official ITG. Are you looking forward to The Walking Dead Betrayal? Scott, we've got more news for Overwatch 2 as it heads to Steam next month, which is pretty cool. This is Marcus Stewart over at Game Informer. Overwatch 2 is making a big jump over to Steam on August 10th. Blizzard has announced. Furthermore, it will be followed by a selection of Blizzard games migrating to the storefront for the first time. In a blog post, Blizzard explains it wants to expand its reach to players beyond its PC launcher. Scott, they're getting into the Sony territory here. We're like, hey, there's a whole audience over here that we're not captivating that we should probably be a part of, right?
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense, being Blizzard on the PC storefront as well. Getting on Steam makes a whole lot of sense.
Absolutely. It believes that the free-to-play Overwatch 2 is the best game to kick off this major shift in the PC release strategy. There's currently no word on what other Blizzard games are coming to Steam, but the publisher says it will announce them when the time is right. Battle.net is a home for all our PC players, and over the years, we've evolved our platform to support updated technologies, capabilities, and our community's expectations. But as we've evolved, the industry has evolved too. Gaming is no longer just for specific communities, as it was when Battle.net launched over 2 decades ago, Scott. It's been around, right? Yeah. I just recently got into a couple of things. I'm like, man, I don't know what my Battle.net password is. I got to find this thing. Like, good luck to that. So, but I think it makes a ton of sense coming over to Steam. It is one of the biggest install bases when it comes to PC. Why would you want to capitalize on that, right? And here they are. And at this point, right, we also talked about how much trouble Overwatch 2 is in right now. Yeah. And with the new season coming around, this not only allows them to get in there with their free-to-play title now, which is something that Overwatch 1 wasn't. So now with the free-to-play option, you get in there, you have a good time, then you start buying into the game as well with the new season, new story points, right, and all these other events. Could this save Overwatch 2, Scott? Do you think this is what they're banking on?
I'm very skeptical, but I hopeful at the same time. I'm hoping this will be the shot in the arm that kind of brings Overwatch back to somewhere healthy, but there is also a kind of secondary. If we're bringing Blizzard games to Steam, I think that's an interesting idea.
Yep.
Whether Overwatch lives or dies is a kind of an issue on its own. But Can we finally get Warcraft 2 on Steam? Can I please get Warcraft 2 again? My brother and I have been playing 20 years old Command and Conquer games. I would love to play Warcraft 2.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you've been there a long time playing that one. Dude, Command and Conquer. Will we ever see that one return? I don't think so.
Red Alert 2 is still as good as it'll ever be. Yeah, no, we won't. They won't do it again.
No, probably not. But here's the other side of it too. Diablo 4. Where does that lie in the future, right? Opportunities, man.
And they're going to have to integrate all of this cross-play, cross-plat that is, because how do you populate an Overwatch lobby if there's... Well, Steam will have a lot of people jumping on, but
oh yeah,
smaller community at first.
Yeah, I'm definitely curious to see with the rise in stats for Overwatch 2, if this is enough that's going to kind of bring this game back to life. We've been in Overwatch over on Xbox, Overwatch 2, but they've quickly fallen off over the time. So with this new update, Scott, are you going to jump in and you can check it out, or are you just done with Overwatch 2 for now?
For now, I'm going to have to sit it out. I want to see Overwatch have a lot of updates before I'm really interested again.
That's fair. Scott, something I'm excited for is PSVR 2 action. We're talking about Firewall Ultra has a release date set for August 24th. Michael Herodance over at PSU First Contact Entertainment has taken to the PlayStation blog to announce that Firewall Ultra will launch for PSVR 2 on August 24th, 2023. The sequel to the 2018's PSVR shooter, Firewall Ultra, brings with a new enhancements including eye tracking, which is going to be a game changer, Scott. I'm telling you right now, that's going to be cool. Which allows you to avoid the blinding light of a flashlight by closing your eyes or closing your non-dominant eye to aim down the sights of your weapon. Dude, I can't wait to jump in and see what enhancements. I played the first one and it was cool. I even bought the gun that goes with it, so you stick all your move controllers in it. You click them in and then you hold it like this and you're going around. Oh man, it was cool.
That's one of the coolest uses of the PlayStation Move controller I've heard so far.
Absolutely was. It was a bit of a game changer. Motion sickness though got me, so I'm hoping that I don't get it here with the PSVR 2, because it has changed a lot of that feeling for me getting into this one. And now we get the next sequel to Firewall, and I'm super excited. But yeah, look for that August 24th. Super cool. Scott, the show isn't done until, well, we talk about what games are today. What do we have?
That's right, we have Punch Club 2 Fast Forward, and that's on the PlayStations, the Xboxes, Nintendo Switch, and PC. Might and Magic Clash of Heroes, the Definitive Edition, comes to PlayStation 4, the Nintendo Switch, and PC. Sea of Thieves, The Legend of Monkey Island update is now live on Xbox and PC, and I think you're excited about that one.
I'm very excited for that one. I can't wait to jump in, yeah.
I think that's going to take the rest of today.
Yep.
A ship with just a splash of je ne sais quoi.
The Legend of Monkey Island? You mean Governor Guybrush. But Threepwood's not set foot out of that mansion for almost a year.
We also have The Wandering Village now on Xbox, and Kill Squad is now on PlayStation.
Cool. Don't miss The Wandering Village. That one looks pretty cool too. I'm excited to get in on that one. Very cool games to play. We got a lot going on today. Well, that'll wrap up today's episode, everybody. Thank you for hanging out with us. As always, this has been ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news. We'll be back again tomorrow. I'm Drew. That's Scott.
And we'll see you inside the game.